Hey there, VCE HHD students. My name's Andy. I'm a VC Health and Human Development teacher. In this short video, we're going to look at examining data and using correct units of measurements in VCE HHD. This is relevant to Unit 1 and 3 and across Unit 2 and 4 HHD for the 2025 plus HHD study zone. If you don't already, you can subscribe to Health Resources Hub on YouTube by pressing the button in the bottom corner of the video there if you're on YouTube, and that means you'll get alerts to all of our new videos as they come out across the year. Also got our website there, the hrh.net.au, where there's lots of opportunities for teachers and students. That's being updated regularly, so please check that out. Also got our Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook page where you can follow us and get alerts to new videos and other opportunities, and also our email if you'd like to get in touch. So what we're looking at here is really just examining data such as graphs and tables, and we've got some tips here for doing that. And then what we're going to do is dive in and have a look at some sample graphs and tables. In a subsequent video, we'll look at things such as trends and relationships and facts, but here we're just going to look at really examining the data so that you're referencing it correctly in your answers. So one of the things to make sure that you do is ensure that you're reading the information correctly when you're looking at your graph or your table, and make sure that you're looking at the heading or the figure, okay, and also the axes. This can all provide you with useful information and context for when you're referring to this as part of your answer. Always ensure that you're looking, okay, at this information, that you're not changing in your answer. You can see that the second point is talking about not changing, for example, information in a graph that refers to males, to boys or men as part of your answer. Make sure you're only referencing the specific information that's included in the heading or perhaps the axes, and not sort of slightly altering it, because it means that it shows as part of your answer you haven't read that information correctly, or you can even be changing the context of your answer by altering some of that information. It's also really important to look out for a key somewhere on your graphs. That's often at the side or down the bottom, and that can be linked to, say, different colors or shading in the graph, and we'll have a look at some examples of that in a minute, and that will obviously help you to decipher the information in the graph. When it comes to units, okay, these are often on the axes or at the bottom of the graph or as part of the key. And typically in HHD, something is, okay, linked to per 100, per 1,000, per 100,000. That can be things like deaths or perhaps delis. And so that is definitely something that you need to take note of and include in your answer, because if you're not referencing, okay, those units correctly as part of your answer, you can change, okay, the whole sort of meaning and the way that you're referring to that data, and it can be then incorrect if you're not including those units. So make sure that you include those, because you might then lose marks if you don't. Okay, so let's just have a look at a couple of sample graphs. So this first one here, okay, there's quite a bit going on, but if you sort of break it down slowly and start by looking at the top there at the title, you're looking at the proportion of overweight and obese people aged 15 to 24. And then if you look at the axes over here, okay, on the y-axis, it's looking at the percent, and that should make sense to you because the title there talked about the proportion. And then down on the x-axis here, we're looking at males and females. This one, once again, has a key that we're talking about, okay, just before, and this one here is referring to, okay, different years. So you can see there that key is showing you different shadings, and this is a bar graph here, and how those different shadings are related to those different years. And so, for example, here, if you were to compare perhaps males and females from 1971 to 1980, you can see here that, approximately maybe 32, 33%, okay, of males were overweight or obese aged between 15 to 24, whereas that was lower for females, and that was approximately, say, 24%, okay, were overweight or obese in that period of time. And then you can see as time's gone on, okay, in both of these groups for males and females, there's been sort of a steady increase, but we'll, as I said, have a chat about things like trends and relationships in a subsequent video. This here is another sample graph. It's just presented slightly differently, but there's a lot of similar sort of information in terms of there's a heading up here. So this is looking at the leading causes of death globally. You can see here, once again, if you look at the y-axis, this one is showing you, okay, the different years. So you can obviously think about how those leading causes of death are changing between 2000 and 2019. Down the bottom here, it's presenting, okay, on the x-axis, the number of deaths, and it's showing you here the units, okay, in millions. And then over on the side here, the keys referencing non-communicable. And so that's talking about conditions that aren't infectious contagious or can't be spread from one individual to another, and then communicable, so infectious diseases that can be spread. And so if you look over here, you can see that there's some conditions, okay, that are shaded in, so they are communicable, whereas all the others, okay, are non-communicable. So once again, okay, if you're sort of looking at this information here, okay, and you're sort of asked to talk about maybe some changes that have occurred between 2000 and 2019, okay, you can look across here for ischemic heart disease and say that in 2000 might have been approximately 6.5 million, okay, deaths globally, whereas that increased to approximately, say, 8.5 million, okay, in 2019. So you can see, so that's how you can read, okay, off the x-axis here and look at some of those changes. In reference to something a bit different, which is a table here. Okay, there's lots of ways in which information table might be presented, but this is just one way. We're looking at a couple of countries here, okay, and then some different sort of, I guess, indicators across the top here mostly. And so you can see here for Australia and Sierra Leone, the Human Development Index, and it's got the year. Then you can see here for life expectancy at birth, and in brackets, it's kind of got the units there or the years. Okay, so make sure you're referencing that when you're looking at these numbers. And then for under 5 mortality per 1,000 live births, so the units again. So once again, it's important to reference that when you're quoting these numbers here. So basically what we're saying is when you're looking at a table, okay, make sure that you're always looking, is there some information for the different sort of factors or indicators that they're referring to in that table with some unit information, and don't just sort of quote the number there. You have to say per 100,000 live births, okay, for the maternal mortality ratio, for example. So don't forget some of that information there. Okay, hopefully you found that video useful. This ACE revision questions book for Unit 3 and 4 students that I've worked on for 2025 plus HHD study design has lots of opportunities for sort of data analysis like we're doing today, with sample A+ answers included for all questions. It's got over 500 marks worth of questions, as well as a full chapter on extended response and a full trial exam. So you can head to book.acedvce.com to order a copy of that, and we'll come to you in the post. And as I said earlier, you can head to our website and check out our other opportunities that are available at the moment for students and teachers. Thanks so much.